to uh, to learning teaching process. And another thing means depend on this theory only. Next, Skinner have conducted, he has introduced one operant conditioning theory to the psychology. So here, operant conditioning theory, before that, Thorndike has given one idea, and this idea is coming from this experiment. So we'll start. Edward Lee Thorndike, his laws of learning, law of readiness, law of exercise, and law of effect. He has introduced this theory with the connectionism. For example, yes and R, stimulus and response correction is there. He has given this idea and he has introduced this theory. Edward Lee Thorndike, 31st August 1874, 9th August to 9th August 1949. He was an American psychologist who have developed learning theory that lead to the development of operant conditioning within behaviorism. So behavior, how we can change, how the behavior will be there by the animal and by the human being. So he has studied that. Whereas classical conditioning depends on development of the classical conditioning depends on developing the social network. Paulo classical conditioning in that stimulus and response was there. How the stimulus is there depend on that response will be there. Yes, R and CSCR. You have studied that. Operant conditioning involves learning from the consequences of the behavior. So operant conditioning also depend on the behavior, depend on the um, learning depend on the consequences of the behavior of the person. Skinner's theory of the operant conditioning, who built on the ideas of Edward Thorndike. See here, Edward have given the idea for the operant conditioning theory by Skinner. Thorndike was a pioneer not only in behaviorism and in studying learning, but also in using animal in psychology experiment. So not only he has studied the behaviorism, but he has conducted some experiment on the animal. Connectionism is the learning theory which is based on the concept of bonds formed between stimulus and response. That is, natural connection between situations. Natural connection between situation, yes, and response is a R, formed and strengthened. The stimulus affects the organism which respond to it. So yes and R bonds are formed with the considered as a physical condition. Physical condition, how it is, depend on that. What type of the stimulus is there, depend on that response will be there. You know that the hungry dog, he has tried to get the food. How he has given the food to him by the Paulo. So when where the stimulus is there, then response definitely will get in the teaching learning process. The student must have a thirst of the knowledge. Then whenever you will impart the knowledge, you will teach them, they will learn very effectively. This theory of learning is related to conditioning that utilizes the concept of association of the connection. It emphasizes that the behavior begins with the conditioned reflexes and natural responses, and new behaviors result from the acquisition of new bond through experience. Thorndike formulated the major laws of learning on the basis of belief in the connectionism. First thing means stimulus and response. Stimulus is there, then response will get. Natural stimulus is there, then response also will get. Then connectionism is very important. Suppose you wanted to teach a lesson in the class, that time students will be ready for learning because they like that, and you are creating the interest regarding your subject. So that is very important. So here, acquisition of new bond through experience. Teacher is always giving every day one new experiences through the curriculum. And so that's why here we can say that when the stimulus and response in between connection is there. What he has done, Thorndike has done, he has taken one puzzle box. One of Thorndike's major contribution to the study of psychology was his work with animals. He has done experiment on the animal. He believed that learning occurred through the trial and error. First time man is not perfect. He is doing that experiments and scientists. They are also try. After the trying, they are getting the success. So in the teaching learning process also, learning occurred through the trial and error. First time students are not understanding, but after that they are practicing again and again and again, and they are reducing the errors and they will get the perfectness. So we can say practice is a very important in the teaching learning process, especially in the mathematics and in the grammar, in the language grammar. The animal made many responses in the which animal he has taken. He has seen that he has given many responses. Many of them were wrong. Sometimes trial also will be wrong and error will get. Many of them were wrong and ineffective. That was not effective. And eventually learn to repeat those that got desirable result. And lastly, again and repeating trials, he has got the success at the end. So see this type of the puzzle box he has taken. Thorndike felt that the learning was a matter of creating association between stimuli and response. So learning is a matter of creating association. Association must be the stimulus and response. Teacher is teaching in the class, students must be connect with that. Response must get from the students to the teacher, then teaching will be the meaningful. Between stimuli and response, and no speculation about mind was necessary or useful. Through long, extensive research with these animals, he constructed device called puzzle box. He has taken one puzzle box like this. Time required to escape second. These are the second side vertical, and this is one graph also. And here 10 trials are in this x-axis and y-axis, time required to escape. So likewise, what he has done, we'll see. Huh. Thorndike felt that the learning was matter of creating association between stimuli and response, and no speculation about mind was necessary or useful. Through long, extensive research with these animals, he constructed a device called puzzle box. The box was approximately 20 inches long, 15 inches wide, and 11 inches tall. The box had a door that was pulled open by weight attached to a string that ran over a pulley and was attached to the door. The string attached to the door led to a lever or button inside the box. When the animal pressed the bar or pulled the lever, the string attached to the door would cause the weight to lift and the door to open. Next. At first, cat in the cage explored restlessly. He was restless first time because he wanted food which kept in the outside, and he is a escape. He wanted to come out from that puzzle box, but did not know how to escape. He don't know how to escape from that. Eventually, they stepped on the foot switch, and the trap door opened. And what happened? He is wandering in the
स्टार्ट वीडियो करके बघा मला माहित असेल
open. On succeeding
ये नहीं कर
trial,
दो
they operated the switch faster.
नहीं
What he has done? That go back, go back, go back. Here. So what he has done, inside the cat was there. He has done like the same experiment. He kept a hungry cat inside, and same pattern box also was there. And then what he has done there also, that time, go back. He has done many times attempt. First time you can see time required to escape and trials 10, 20, 30, up to 30 many trials was there first time. But in the second time trial was reduced. Why reduced? Because he has learnt how to get the food. So likewise in the learning teaching also, once the student have understood, they will not forget, and this is called the trial and error. Trial and error Thorndike explained learning with the law of effect. Animals tended to repeat a behavior that resulted a pleasing effect. So in the class, when students are sitting in the class, that time the effect must be there on the by that experience. Student must get effect. This was an early version of the concept of positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement means when I will press this switch, I will get the that food. This is the positive reinforcement that Skinner has used effectively. Behavior was vetted during the trial and error, and that cat has learned by the trial and error. First time he doesn't know, because so that's why in the graph also, when we are finding that first trial, in that he has done lot of many times he has done a trial. Thorndike believed that the animals stumble upon a behavior that produces a desirable effect. But second time, when we are finding that time he has not shown many trials, because he has understood that where I have to press the which switch and I will get the food. This created a link between stimulus and the response. Stimulus means cage, and response means stepping on the switch or pulling the lever. Later, in the same stimulus situation, the response occurred faster. Second time, the faster learning was there by the cat. He produced a graph called a learning curve. That is, last time we have conducted this experiment learning curve. One at a time, how the students are learning, individual data and the group data, showing the number of second an animal took the escape of each trial. How many trials we can do that? Hmm. So here also once again graph you can see, in early trials Thorndike cats would try many random moves to escape from the box, and in the second trial, through trial and error, the cat learned to more quickly repeat the successful behavior of the pushing the lever. So we can see that we can change the behavior of the students behavior. Thorndike thought that I can change the behavior of the cat, because first he doesn't know, but in the second time the cat knows how to get the food, and this is called the behavior. Successfully he has done that. Thorndike concluded that all animal learns solely by trial and error or reward and punishment. He has concluded that every human being or animals, they learn from the reward and punishment, trial and error or reward and punishment. He used the cat behavior in the puzzle box to describe what happens when all the beings learn together. Learning involve the formation of connection, and connections were strengthened according to law of effect. Intelligence is the ability to form connection. Intelligence is a main thing to learn the this information. So Thorndike has given some laws depend on this experiment. One is a law of readiness, second is a law of effect, third is a law of exercise. Thorndike presented the theory of laws of learning on the basis of his belief in connectionism. So main thing means with the connectionism, this law of learning theory is there. Connectionism with the in between the stimuli and response. These laws are originally the outgrowth of experiments in the field of animal psychology. He first presented his theory in his book Animal Learning, published in the 1898. The three major laws are: one is a law of readiness, second is a law of effect, third is a law of exercise. First, we'll see law of readiness means what. When a bond is ready to act gives satisfaction, and not to act gives annoyance. If a person is ready to learn, he or she can learn quickly. If person or student is ready for learning, they learn very quickly. The law of readiness describes those situations in which the person who learns either invites the object of his or her learning, reject it. Readiness means preparation of action. If a person is not prepared to learn, then learning cannot be instilled in him her. Suppose teacher is students are not ready for learning. Teacher has taught them that learning is not useful for the students because they have not learned only. Readiness is not there only. Next. Readiness includes all those preparatory adjustments which immediately precede the activity, reminding the learner his or her part experiences, the understanding of new things, diverting attention towards the subject to be learned, changing the environment to suit the learning are all included in readiness. In the readiness, learning will be successful. The readiness creates a mental set for the learning. The mentally set students, they are showing their readiness. They are uh, readiness will is there, then they are learning successfully. In Thorndike view, the law of readiness is active in three following conditions. So law of readiness is active in three conditions. One is when conduction unit is prepared to go into action, its work is quite satisfactory because nothing is done in a alter its working.
Madrid
In the activity of deletion unit, and any reaction may arise in connection with the deficiency. In activity of conduction unit, and any reaction may arise connection with the deficiency. When a conduction unit is forced to act while it is not prepared to do so, its behavior is a nature calculated to excite anger. When a conduction unit is forced to act while it is not prepared, suppose children are not ready for the learning, they can show their angers. All these three characteristics describe the readiness for the learning and is known by a tendency for learning in the learner. The tendency for learning results in self-contentment on learning. If the learning is abstracted, even in the event of the presence of the tendency to learn, then deep discontentment may result. While one on one hand, the tendency towards learning is assistant in learning, it may be on other hand can also be source of the discontentment in the case the learning is absent. In this way, law of readiness is related to mental preparation for action. Law of readiness is related to mental preparation for action. Person is a mentally ready, mentally prepared, then he will show his action. Otherwise, no. So that's why you have to find your students whether they are ready. Then you can teach them. Suppose before the lunch and after the lunch, these are the two classes are very important. Before the lunch, which where students need to study thoroughly. These are the subjects are in the timetable in the first or second class. First was war, that is a law of readiness. Now law of exercise. Second laws as given by, this is also given by the Thorndike. The second important law has two aspects. It is based on law of use and disuse. Use and disuse. The law of use states that when a modifiable connection is made between situation and response, that connection strength is being increased. Suppose modifiable connection is made between a situation and response, then the connection strength is being increased. The law of disuse, now use, properly using, suppose correct situation and correct response is there, then strength will be there in the learning and teaching. Suppose law of disuse, when a modifiable connection is not made between the situation and response over length of time, the connection strength is a decrease. So connection will not be there and strength will be decreased. The repeated application of an activity fixes it firmly in the mind, while on the other hand, the relation is weakened through continuous disuse. Drill and practice helps is increasing efficiency and durability of learning. So here teacher has to do then the drilling, practice, homework. In the homework also, in the class also, drilling and practice is essential. By the practice can learn students. For example, in English grammar, in the mathematics, many problems, in the science, some formulas. Here drilling and practice is essential. By that students can understand that properly and they can keep in their mind. According to Thorndike, yes-R bond theory, yes means stimulus and R means response bond theory. The connections are strengthened with trial and practice. Whenever there is an appropriate situation, the activity which is firmly attached might take place. It is an experience that whenever any action is repeated, it becomes easy and prompt. So yes, our bond theory, here actions are repeated, becomes easy and prompt. Action are repeated means trying, exercising again and again and again. After 9 hours, we are forgetting, but before that, once again, we are exercising. That leads to the permanent learning. Repetition and activities fix knowledge and skills to be learned. Practice makes it perfect. Practice makes man perfect. Like that, practice makes it perfect. Lack of practice weakens memory and skill. Practice is not there, then the memory and skills will become weak. It may be said that longer is a period of disuse, greater is a loss of memory and weakening of the skills. Our memory power we have to use properly. Maximum memory we have to use, give the work to our brain. Because in the daily life we are using only 5% our brain, remaining 95% to no. But same human being, they are using their brain and they are getting a big success in their life. So this is related to the law of exercise during the classroom. During the classroom, student must use that properly. Connection must be the stimulus and response. So that's why whenever when you are teaching in the class, that time you are doing a motivation and introduction, that is a connection to the that subject, connection of the previous knowledge of the students and related or which lesson you are going to teach related that. So that connection is there, then student can learn very fast. If your introduction, your starting activity is successful, then half work you can done for the classes. 50% work has gone. Your class will become a very effective and successful. Third laws. First law is law of readiness. Second law is law of exercise. And third is a law of effect. The meaning of the law of effect is the effect of learning. So whatever child has learned, that effect on the learning means that whatever the effect is on the child, the trial or steps leading to satisfaction stems in the bond or connection. Again, trial also related to that connection must be there for the trials. Satisfying status lead to consolidation and strengthening of the connection, whereas dissatisfaction, annoyance, or pain lead to the weakening or stamping out of the connection. What to read, what not to read, that is very important. Don't waste time in unnecessary, what is not useful content. So which is useful in our life, that we must be utilize, and we have to learn that. What is useful for our profession, we have to read that, and that will be helpful for ourselves. Success brings with it satisfaction, along with it is strengthening of the relation of experience. Failure increases dissatisfaction, and the absence of the relation among the experiences weakens them. Success brings satisfaction and strengthening of the relation of the experience. Failure increases dissatisfaction and absence of the relation among the experience. So failure increases weakness, and success brings the strongness. So like that, he is saying in the law of effect, the when child students will learn, they will get the perfectness, the confidence they can develop. The success can be compared to reward and failure to punishment, and the desire to repeat success to avoid failure as an inevitable antecedents. But your child must try. He must try. He always uh, must try for learning and get the reward, not failure, but reward. His trying is very very important, but it is also to depend on the teacher also. How a teacher will stimulate them, depend on that their response will be there. So desire to repeat success. They wanted to show the desire to repeat success and to avoid the failures. And this is for the children. They wanted to show their talent. They wanted to show their confidence. So we must accept that, and we have to give extra knowledge to them. Subordinate laws. So there three laws are there. You have understood. These are the some subordinate laws are there. Extra related to that, there are five laws are there. One is a law of multiple response. A person very changes his or her response till an appropriate behavior is succeeded. Person solves a problem with the instinctive and learned behavior. There are multiple responses in the behavior which guide person in achieving success and making learning possible. Teacher reaches the solution by variation in the response. So multiple response may be there, and this will be changed the appropriate behavior by the students. He will solve the problem instinctive and learned behavior. So many students, we are finding this type of the students, they are showing their multiple response, depend on their intelligence, depend on their interest, depend on their physical capacities. The law of set or attitude. Learning is conditioned or guided by the attitude or set of the person, which determines not only what the person will do, but what will satisfy or annoy the person. The response of the person is dependent upon his or her attitude towards the situation. Learning is affected more in the individual if he or she is set to learn more or to excel. Depend on every student's attitude. They are learning. If they want to do excel in their life, they will do. If they don't want to do the excel, that also they can, everything is depend on their attitude. This is the law of attitude. Next is the prepotency or of elements. Prepotent element are present in the problem. The person or learner gets greater success if he or she bases responses on her elements and depends on the person reacts selectively to the important or essential feature in the situation, neglects the other features or elements which may be irrelevant or non-essential. So there are three laws, multiple and subordinate. Other laws also we have seen. We are seeing that. Fourth is a law of response by analogy. The person uses old experiences responding to a situation. Means every person have a some experience, depend on that response will be there. That is called law of response by analogy. A person will respond in a manner similar to the one in which he or she has behaved previously if he and she or she finds some similarity between the situation. That is the analogy. Next, fifth, last law is law of five laws extra. First three are very important. One is a law of readiness, law of effect, and law of exercise. Law of exercise. So there were three. So plus these are the five. Then very important point, that is the educational implication of the theory. What is the educational? The task can be started from the easier aspect towards its difficulty aspect, which will help the children to learn properly. So your task, whenever you are say, giving the task to the student, you have to start from the easy task you have to give first, then difficult one, easy to difficult, because first time they will get many errors will get, and by that they will learn. But in the easy task is there, then they can easily they can learn very fastly, so which will help the children to learn properly. Easy to difficult you have to go. For example, climate condition, climate you are teaching the lesson, that time equatorial climate this topic is there, then you have to start from local climate. You have to ask some questions related to the local climate, and then you can go towards the equatorial climate. Trial and error method can be used in teaching. In the teaching, trial and error method you can use. Rewards and punishment affect the learning of the child. Reward and punishment affect the learning of the child. These are the two weapons are there in the hand of the teacher. Where to use, for whom to use, that you have to decide very intellectually, because good students are there and you are giving the punishment, that will affect will be the different. So that's why you have to find out which are very effective students and which we have to develop. Depend on that you have to use this reward and punishment in the learning. Habits are formed as a result of repetition, again and again. Repetition after 21 days we can change the habit, says. That's why I suppose we have to change the habits of the students. We have to do again and again repetition. Help of theory, the wrong habits can be modified and habits can be strengthened. Good habits can be strengthened and wrong habits can be modified wrongly. Practice is the main feature of trial and error method. This is the main feature of trial and error method. It helps in reducing errors committed by children in learning a concept. So these are the educational implications. So thank you. So this is regarding Edward Thorndike trial and error behavioral learning, and this is related to behavior of the animal as well as a human being. So how we can teach them, how we can give the guidance to them, and by that they can learn more. Student can learn more. So we have studied. This is the second theory we have completed today related to behavioristic, and third theory we'll take next time, that is the B.F. Skinner's operant conditioning theory, and this theory has got the idea from this trial and error learning theory, and here connectionism is very important, and then trial and error is important, repetition is important, practice is important, and we can change the behavior through the practice. By the trial and error children are learning. Understood? Got the idea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then we'll meet tomorrow regarding, we'll discuss tomorrow B.F. Skinner's operant conditioning theory. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
ये बंद करें।